Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Kaizen Nuzarani, and now I want to share about the story about the House of the Windows, how the Islamic Golden Age changed the world. Today, I want to take you all a fascination journey back of the time when the cities of the Middle East were the absolutely center of the science, physiology, and innovation. We often hear about the Europe's Renaissance, but centuries before that, the world experienced spectacular exploit of the knowledge known as the Islamic Golden Age. Today, we are going to look at the heart of this era, a magnificent institution in Baghdad called of House of Windows or Bait al-Hikmah. Our story begins in the 18th century. Under the Abbas Caliphate, the empire had grown massive, stretching from the borders of the China all the way to Spain. The capital city Baghdad was founded in year 1762 and it quickly became the largest and widest city in the world. But the result of the Banghan, the but the rulers of the Banghan, the capital, realized that true power did not just come from military threats or golden plates, but the true come from knowledge. A historic caliph named Haruna al-Rashid decided to establish Granny Librarian in Baghdad. His son, Caliph al-Mamun, later expanded his library into Madrid, world-class institution of higher learning. They named it Bayt al-Hikmah, which translates to the house of the window. It was not just a library, it was a grand university, a transition where journey and meeting place from the greatest minds on the planet. To make a to make the House of the Windows success, the Caliph launched a massive project called the Translation Movement. It was an extraordinary effort to gather all the world knowledge into the place. The Caliph sent messengers across Europe, Persia, and India to buy very scientific and philosophical books they could find. Caliph al-Ma'mun valued books so high that he famous often the pay translation of the weight of each translated book in pure solid gold. Because of this minded approach, scholars of all backgrounds Muslim, Christian, Jews, and Persian flocked to Baghdad. They worked side by side to translate the work of the great ancient thinkers like Aristotle, Plato, and Euclid into Arabic. By, by preserving these texts, Islamic scholars saved ancient world history from being lost during Europe's Dark Age. However, the scholars at the House of Windows did not just translate a book; they used the knowledge to even entirely new fields of the study. One of the greatest minds of work at the House of Windows was a brilliant mathematician named Muhammad ibn Musa Khwarizmi. Al-Khwarizmi combined the mathematical concept of the Greece and India to create revolution new branch of mathematics. He wrote a famous book called Al-Kitab al-Jabr, and it was from his title that we get modern word algebra. Algebra. Furthermore, his name is Al-Khawarizm was translated into Latin, which gave us the word algorithm, a concept that formed the foundation of all our modern comprehension and smart today. But the innovation did not stop at the mathematics. In the field of medicine, a Persian scholar named Ibn Sina, known in the West and African, wrote an encyclopedia called the Canon of the Medicine. This book was so advanced and comprehensive than because that standard medical textbook in Europe for over 500 years. Another scientist, Ibn al-Haytham, revolutionized how to understand fission. He infected the file of optic, proving that nigh under Arian's version of the living them. And his experience laid the groundwork of the invention of the camera. For nearly 500 years, the House of Windows shone as a bright beacon of the illumination for humanity. It proved that when people of different cultures and religions collaboration, society achieved incredible breakthroughs. Bangla became a bustling hub where poetry, art, engineering, and astronomy flourishing together. Sadly, every golden age eventually faced its twilight. In the year 1258, a massive catastrophe struck Baghdad. The Mongol army, led by Hulagu Khan, Surangot and Besik and the city. When the city fell, the Mongol destroyed Baghdad's grand architecture and burned the house of the windows to the ground. Historical accounts tell us that the Mongols threw millions of the priceless books in the Tigris River. The river supposedly ran black with ink from the lost knowledge of the ancient world. The destruction the destruction of the House of Windows was definition entirely from the global civilization, yet the legacy of the Islamic Golden Age could not to be complete erased. Many of the books and discovering had already traveled to the other part of the world, including the Spain and Italy. There's this idea evenly sparking the Europe Renaissance, guide the world into the modern scientific era. Uh, the history of House of the Window teaches us relation. It reminds us the progress happened when the priority education, collaboration, and welcome the first perspective. The formula we use in the school, the medicine always save the life, and the technology we enjoy today offer their roots in the brilliant mind of the Islamic Golden Age. The original site in the Baghdad. The original specifically building of the House of Windsor in Baghdad no longer exists. It was completely destroyed in 1248 during the Mongol siege because the entire city was traveling and were rebuilt over the country. The exact geography location of the original building remains a mystery of the modern archaeology. The modern revive in Sharjah. The, the honor and revive the spirit of the ancient institution. The United Arab Emirates built a magnificent high-tech culture hub called a House of Window in Sharjah. The point, we have 2 points. It serves as a modern library, a digital archive for ancient manuscripts, and the space for social collaboration. And the two, it is designed by a famous archaeologist and represents the future of learning in the Middle East. Preservation through regulation. Today, we survive the knowledge from the Islamic Golden Age is full entire the digital world. Major global institutions like a British Library and the Qatar Digital Library are scanning and completing thousands of ancient Islamic scientific manuscripts online. They ensure that the Windows original kept in Baghdad is now safe from physical distraction and accessibility to anyone with an internet combination. Legal in modern astronomy. The united proof of the lasting impact is that modern science has immortalized the names of the scholars who worked there. International Space Organization, we have official name geography landed on the moon after them, such as the Al-Khawes crater, honoris the father of algebra, and the Ibn Sina crater, honoring of the father learning medicine. That's all. Thank you.